what do you want to build with your social media? What do you hope to like impact with it besides Pitch Social?
The whole reason I want to have any personal brand is just I have more leverage. For example, like when I had 3,000 followers on my personal, I did a collaboration with Marlon and Lacey. I brought them through the whole live stream together. I brought them through just through network and leverage, right? So I organized a whole day for them. I took them to the gym. We went out to dinner. They got mosh pit of like 1,000 kids showed up because they were getting stream sniped.
One of the most important roles that social media has played in my life is leverage. Like he just said, you can send somebody a DM and they'll answer. If you have an idea that you want to share with somebody, if you want to collab with somebody else, they're more likely to answer you the more followers that you have.
First video went viral. We have 40,000 followers. We have one video up. We're like, what's the next step? You know what I mean? They're like,
what was the series?
So what I documented was kind of everything that we did to the bar. We changed out the floors. We epoxied the bar top. We painted all the walls, kind of documenting what we're going to provide.
It's like founder story documentation.
Yeah.
That's sick.
People loved it.
How did the idea of opening up a bar, how did that kind of come to fruition?
I've always been a big fan of like organizing events, bringing people together, that kind of thing. We started Nightlife Network. I did the VIP card giveaways at all the bars. The bar owner's like, oh, this kid's like pretty cool. Like he knows how to get people together. He was growing the social media. Like I think between the 5 bars that we posted, we got like 200,000 views, hundreds, thousands of likes, blah, blah, whatever. And then after that, we opened up a small venue down the street, only on Tuesdays. We rented out the space for 6 months, only Tuesday night events. We packed it out every single time. And then we moved beyond that and we wanted to find a venue that we actually wanted to like own. And then eventually the opportunity came up at Golden Rail. We took it.
Welcome to the Haas Media Podcast, the #1 marketing and business entrepreneurial podcast in the world. My name is Owner Haas.
My name is Okan Haas.
And we got 2 special guests here today, Damian Appice.
Yo, what's good?
And Cris, owner of Pitch Social. Today, we're going to kind of go through Chris's journey on entrepreneurship, how he's used marketing to literally skyrocket his business. What's going on, Cris?
How's it going, guys? Pleasure to be here. Thank you for Damian connecting us.
Hell yeah.
I do.
Yeah, thanks, Damian.
Absolutely.
I beat his ass in boxing last week.
That's right.
So I gotta watch those clips.
Still recovering, yep.
Wait, did you ever get the videos?
I did. I got to airdrop you them.
All right.
Yeah. Just me getting my ass beat.
Nah.
How you liking boxing though?
It's great. Dude, boxing's good, bro. I'm happy you guys started bringing me. I mean, 2 months in, bro. It's pretty good.
You're getting kind of addicted.
Yeah, I am.
You got to start coming.
Boxing?
Yeah.
Bro, it's lit, bro. It's
Where do you guys do it?
It's like, it's like under 10 minutes from here.
Yeah, it's like 9 minutes away from here.
Yeah.
It's in Bridgewater?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we do like personal coaching. So the coach there, he's been a boxing coach for like over 20 years. So it's like very tailored to like how we, any corrections or anything. He's like super meticulous about it. And you get good so fast. And like we've just been sparring each other. So
They've been boxing for
I love it.
3 months?
3 months now, yeah.
Yeah, they're like getting as good as us.
you guys are getting good as
We've
hell,
been
dude.
boxing for like almost fucking 2 years.
It's so fun.
Yeah. But how'd you guys end up meeting before like this whole thing started?
This is hilarious. I want to talk about this. So this is funny. So this is way before I was like, I've really built anything on social media, but I would just post like skit content on TikTok.
Okay.
And randomly Damian texts me or he DMs me. He's like, yo, you should have 100,000 followers by now. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Like, can you like tell me what to do? And then we hopped on a phone call. He gave me his number. I think he gave me his Instagram. I DM'd him. I was like, bro, this dude has 2 million followers on TikTok and 1.5 on Instagram. And he's DMing me.
Yeah, what the hell is he doing?
At the time, yeah, it was something like
Yeah,
that.
now he's way bigger, but even back then it was like mind-boggling to think that he'd want to even reach out to me.
Yeah. Same thing happened to us too.
Yeah, it's crazy. And he's a man, bro.
Yeah.
Damian,
So we hopped on a call.
Ego maxing right now.
Guys.
Yeah, so we hopped on a call and we were just chopping it up. And he's like, yeah, bro, you gotta do this. We're talking about call to actions. We're talking about watch time. We're talking about hooks. I'm like, okay, we got something going. And then ever since then, like my content like changed, became a little bit more mature, and then like the content just kind of
So what type of content were you doing in the beginning before like the rest?
Just like college, like frat guy stuff.
Gotcha.
Right? Because I joined a frat when I got to Rutgers and I realized like, I'm in a frat.
Yeah.
I know a bunch of people in Greek life. It's like a way for me to like try to get my name out there. That was like the style of content I was doing.
And what did it transition into after?
Once I realized that there was an opportunity for like the bar, I was like, let's go all in like more professional style of content.
Gotcha.
You know?
So how did the idea of opening up a bar, how did that kind of come to fruition?
Yeah, so once the opportunity came on the table, we'll backtrack like 2 years. I did Nightlife Network, and then I would organize events at Golden Rail.
Okay.
Right. So I'd bring influencers through. I have a clothing brand. I wish I wore the shirt, but I have a clothing brand called The Weekend Starts Thursday. Twist.
That's nice.
Because at Rutgers and most bars at colleges, the weekend starts Thursday. People go on Thursday nights.
Yeah, very on brand with the bar.
So I did that, and I'd organize events like every other Thursday, right? Bring out influencers, do this, do that. And I was still I was 19. I wasn't drinking, but I'd organize the events. And then eventually it came on the table, and we were like, let's do something cool. And we came up with the name Pitch Social because we have pitchers, and we wanted to be like a social club.
And the whole idea couldn't happen before you kind of went through helping other bars and stuff. What was the idea? Like, why did you want to get into that space?
I'm gonna be honest, I love bringing people together. So at Rutgers, the Greek life is cool, right? We're a Big Ten school. There's a lot of people that go to Rutgers, but there was never anyone who took lead and wanted to organize big events, bring everybody together. So when I first started my clothing brand, The Weekend Starts Thursday, I was like, how can I bring the whole school together in the beginning of the year? September 8th, 2025, I decided to organize something called a frat crawl. Yeah. I had all the biggest fraternities and all the sororities partner up. And we went from 12 in the afternoon until 3 o'clock in the morning.
Holy shit.
From frat party to frat party. And
how many people?
Dude, 1,500, 2,000.
Holy shit.
It was unbelievable. It was crazy. And the content that we created on that night and that weekend touched, 20 million views.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And I partnered up with these guys called the P&E Boys. They live in LA now. But I met them because I was like, they were crushing it in the college space. I texted the one kid, Steve. We were chopping it up. I was like, "You got to come to Rutgers. Let's do a collab." So we collaborated with their brand P&E and my brand Twist. And the drop was called "Make America Party Again." Okay. So I leveraged the whole frat crawl to make an ad for my clothing drop.
That's sick.
Right. So we hopped in suits. I rented out a black Escalade. We're driving the Escalade around from party to party. Damn. And we had the red "Make America Party Again" hats, to mimic Trump. Yeah. And we crushed. I think we did fucking 70K in sales.
Holy shit.
That's sick, dude.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
That's crazy.
So, and then after that, the opportunity came up and we had to do. So
you're already organizing events. You're putting things together. I think we were talking about before, you had an opportunity to open up your own bar, and that came out of because you were helping bars kind of scale up their social media. So that was your first was that your first time getting into really getting into social media?
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say that kind of segued into wanting to make personal brand content. And then from there it kind of became.
And so you get into Pitch Social. What was the difference, I guess, when you started the business? What was the difference of having because you already had social media presence, right? But this whole marketing campaign with social media, how fast did the bar grow?
Honestly, it was the most mind-boggling thing ever because I'm again very fortunate that I was be able to be connected on campus. I attribute a good amount of that success to starting a charity on campus. Okay. So go back 2 years or 3 years, as a matter of fact, my partner Danny started a charity called Are You for a Cure? Okay. Right. He had pediatric cancer and it was when he was younger. And he got a scholarship from the Tom Coughlin J Fund Foundation.
Oh, nice.
For I think 4 years of his tuition, right? They gave him a lot of money. He wanted to pay that back. So he started the charity. What we would do is, I wish I had the wristband on, but we sold $10 wristbands to students, and that wristband got you discounts at every restaurant on Easton Avenue for a whole month.
Sick.
Right? So you'd save 20%. You use it 4 times and make your money back, right? People eat 4 times a day, right?
I think the most important thing that you're saying right now that might go over a lot of people's heads is, because I see this with Damian and his content, is he's the person that he is on camera and off camera. And it seems from everything that you're saying, you're the same person with social media, without social media. It's not about, I feel a lot of people start to build a brand and they're I want to build this massive brand. I want to get 1 million followers and make all this money and all this stuff. But you're bringing people together already before the social media. You're putting together events. You got into Pitch Social, started Pitch Social and putting a bar together. That, a lot of that stuff is highlighted through your personal brand. You have to build something in order to connect with people and be genuine and authentic. And we're huge about that. And I feel a lot of people miss the mark on that a lot.
Yeah, and you just kind of use social media to amplify that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And honestly, I want to build off of that because Damian saw it first. It's funny because Damian has the same way I've seen Damian grow over the last couple of years. He saw me when I was I had nothing, right? I'm still obviously working to try to build something for myself, but like he saw me at the very, very beginning, you know what I mean? But it's funny that you mentioned the growth, like amplifying it through social media. So with Are You For A Cure, like last year, we did $12,000 in a month, right? Which was like huge for us. And we were just at Rutgers. And by that point, like last September, we're like, we want to do it again. We want to make it bigger. And we want to use social media to make it significantly bigger. So we put a crazy goal out there, $100,000, right? We didn't hit the goal. We raised $30,000, but keep in mind, I was building the bar at the exact same time while we were raising this money. And we went to 6 different campuses across New Jersey, right? Wow. So we were at Princeton, TCNJ, Rowan, obviously Rutgers, you know, Montclair, like we were everywhere. And we were just facilitating these big events there, right? So like at Rowan, for example, I did a Christmas event.
Nice. 1,000
people came.
Holy shit.
1,000 people bought wristbands. Wow. You know? Nice. So it was pretty cool.
That's sick, dude. Yeah, it's like, you're doing a lot of these things already, and like I don't know, people follow that, and like you need to live this, like I don't know how to really word this, but you need to be interesting for people to kind of like be like, okay, this guy's interesting, right? And like it's not about trying to fake this interest or whatever the case is on social media, but you've been, what the fuck is going on, bro? Sorry, I got like 50 phone calls. But it's just like, it's creating a direction, creating just what you're already doing. Where do you want to, like, what do you want to build with your social media? What do you hope to like impact with it besides Pitch Social?
That's a great question, right? So, honestly, the whole reason I want to have any personal brand is just I have more leverage. You know, like for me, everything is leverage. Yeah. And I feel like most of the moves that I've played, like for example, like when I had 3,000 followers on my personal, I did a collaboration with Marlon and Lacey in New Brunswick.
Oh shit!
I brought them to do a whole live stream together.
Yeah, that's wild.
12 hours.
That's crazy.
Marlon won Streamer of the Year. Lacey's one of the biggest streamers in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I brought them through just through network and leverage. And like I'm blessed because everyone that I've brought to New Brunswick, like I'm a very like hospitality is very important to me, right?
Yeah.
I bring them through. I'll treat you like you're my brother, right? Even if we just met, I'll make sure that you like know that I respect you. I'm very thankful that you come to New Brunswick or wherever I'm bringing you. Absolutely. I'm going to show you around, right? So I organize a whole day for them. Like for example, we did I had my own sandwich at the bagel shop in New Brunswick, right? So went there, brought them. They worked as employees. I took them to the gym. We went out to dinner. They got mosh pit of like 1,000 kids showed up because they were getting stream sniped. And then I organized like a whole party for them. And it was funny because we were supposed to throw the party at my frat house, but we got in trouble, whatever. Yeah. And I called up one of my boys who's the president of one of the fraternities on campus. I was like, yo, listen, I got an opportunity you cannot refuse. Threw the biggest party they ever had.
That's crazy.
We played it 24 hours before.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But anyway, like back to what I was saying, like the personal brand, like I want to use it as leverage to open up more doors. Yeah, if I have 100,000 followers on Instagram, if I send you a DM, there's a good chance you're going to respond to me. You know?
Yeah. How do you think like over the years, because obviously you've had pretty big brand at this point, like where do you see that it's helped you throughout your kind of journey with it?
Well, I would say leverage as well. One of the biggest things one of the most important roles that social media has played in my life is leverage. Like he just said, you can send somebody a DM and they'll answer. If you have an idea that you want to share with somebody, if you want to collab with somebody else, they're more likely to answer you the more followers that you have. And now too, what's crazy about Instagram is you can just buy the blue check mark.
Yeah.
And that comes up in the primary inbox, right? So back in the day, it used to be some big deal if you were verified.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of like, it's pay to play. And then not only that, if you have the followers to back it, and a lot of your recent videos have views, people know you're most likely serious and they'll answer you. So it's definitely impacted me in that way, locally as well, because now when I go places, you know, locally, and I'm not saying this to toot my own horn or anything, but a lot of people might have seen the videos already. They might have had prior interactions with my family because we've stayed in the same town our whole life. So, you know, I don't have to introduce myself sometimes to people. Like they'll already treat me really nice when I go and eat places or anything like that. And it's a super nice feeling. And that's exactly where I was hoping it would lead when I first started so many years ago. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking to just continue to work that.
Yeah, it's like that you like literally created an asset from, you know, you just had this idea and you're like, bro, I'm going all in on this. When did you start the process?
So, well, technically I started learning how to edit videos when I was 9. So what was that? So 2004 and 9, so like 2012, 2011, I started learning how to edit videos on an iMac that my parents surprised me with because they knew I wanted to make a Minecraft YouTube channel. So I started learning how to edit then. And then I started posting Minecraft videos, and actually one of them got like 22,000 views in like 2013, which is like back then for YouTube, like it was
Pretty big.
So that's really when the journey started, and then obviously when TikTok opened up and people started leveraging TikTok. I mean, nobody really knew it was going to be what it was. People were just, you know,
it was Musically before.
yeah, exactly.
Did you ever post on Musically?
Of course. I mean, not seriously or anything. Like I'd dick around and stuff. Pardon my French, but you know. And then when it became TikTok, I was posting on there. I saw a bunch of other people getting crazy amounts of views. And I was like, yo, this definitely seems like an avenue I should try to leverage for the time being. Because when I first started, and I'm sure you can agree with this, I mean, all of you guys, is once you get like that first lick of views,
Oh, dude, it's crazy.
and that first lick of engagement and people hitting you up, it's like a drug. It's very
dude,
addicting.
It's insane.
And I was technically I was 10, 11 when I first experienced it with YouTube, but I experienced it at a pivotal time in my life where I was entering high school. You know, I was a lot more shy in the early years. So when, you know, around that time I was posting videos online and I'd get like 1,000 DMs from random people that I didn't know, girls, guys, like asking da-da-da. It was a great feeling, and it definitely got me addicted, and that's what kept having me chase that.
Yeah, that kind of brought me back a little bit too, because we never actually, we're in the process of building our brands, me and owner. But when we started, we were like, all right, let's build somebody else's brand, figure out how this whole thing works. And I remember just like, we started posting for somebody, and then we got like, you know, the next day we got like 50 views or some shit like that.
Right.
I was like, yo, holy shit, like that's 50 people that just saw that. Like that's a little bit of hope right there. You know what I mean? That like this could be something, because we were just like trying to get into a business, yada yada. And then I remember like that first video that went off for that person, you know, it hit like 50,000, then it went to 60,000, 100,000. It was just like skyrocketing. And I was just like, our hearts were like racing, like, holy fuck, this is actually like doable. Like, you can actually do this.
That is accurate, yeah.
And then like from that though, like so many doors opened, you know what I mean? Like so many opportunities opened because people saw that what we could do for that person. And then so many people started reaching out to us, asking us what our services were. And then our network just started expanding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's what the power is. And it doesn't matter like what type of service or business or restaurant or bar or, you know, whatever it is, you're essentially just putting yourself in front of the right people consistently. And then from that, so many opportunities grow, right? It's like, there's people out there that are trying to start something, trying to start a business, whatever, but they're locked up in their room. They're not talking to anyone. They're not trying to get themselves out there. Nobody knows you exist. You could have the best product, service, bar, restaurant in the world, but if no one knows that you actually exist, then what the fuck's the point? You know what I mean? So that's kind of how I look at it. And that's how I look at these social platforms right now. That's where all the attention's at. Everyone's on their phones, constantly on their phones scrolling. But if tomorrow there's this new device that comes out and there's this new app that's on this new device and no one's on these devices, whatever the fuck it is, right? And that's where the attention's at. That's where we're all going.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? We just want to be where the attention's at. So how do you use that attention to your advantage? And then whatever it is that you're building, how do you, you know, make sure that people consistently see what it is that you stand for or whatever, you know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And one thing that is very overlooked about social media is that it's one thing to have a video go viral, and obviously in the moment you're going to be stoked when you wake up and you have 1 million views, 500,000 views, even 100,000 views. But what people don't realize is also, you know, a vast majority of viewers forget very quickly. So they'll see your video and then the next day they'll forgot they even saw it. So the whole idea behind social media is to become so recognizable by posting all the time that every time they open your phone and they see your face, you're like planting that seed again. And then somebody brings you up, or a video gets sent right to like somebody it's your video, right? And then they're like, oh, like I know who that is. I've seen that person. So, and then imagine doing that for so many years to where you're posting every day. That compounds, and then people start, you know, that's how you eventually become a household name.
Yeah.
That's how Logan Paul, Alex Ramosi, all these people become household names, is because it just compounds over time, right? You're seeing this person's face on your screen so many times, and that's why volume will always win. Obviously quality matters as well, but you become a household name that way, just getting in front of as many eyes as possible. Where is the attention going? And then going to that place.
Facts. Yeah, and that actually goes back to, you know, I actually talked about this today too with owner, but you're right though, volume is the game. So it's like that consistency and that volume with posting, right? And then the quality comes as you
secondary.
keep doing that.
Yep.
It's not a substitute. Like,
You're right.
It's not like, oh, let's do only quality or let's only do volume. If you consistently do volume, eventually that volume will turn into quality.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And you just up it from there, kind of.
exactly.
It's a great way to look at it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I wanted to also ask Cris, in terms of, because you were talking about community building, how that's extremely important. How did Greek life impact community building? Because there was once upon a time, and correct me if I'm wrong, but as a freshman in college, you were part of Greek life, right? Mm-hmm. There must have been like a moment in time where you got a taste of what it was like to be a part of a big event or maybe organize one and say, okay, this is what I want to do for the rest of college. Because then you were occupied the next 4 years with organizing events, being a big part of Greek life. What moment was that for you early on in college, or was it in high school?
That's a good question. I mean, I think it goes back to, I'd say high school, to be honest. Because like even back in high school, like I was always trying to like do something cool for the school, right? Organize events and bring people together. Like when I was in elementary school, I started my first brand, right? Wow. So I had like another clothing brand, and I like.
So you were an entrepreneur at heart.
Oh, forever, bro. I have a funny story. Like I'll go back to exactly what you said, but back when I was in 7th grade, I used to flip stuff on like eBay, Mercari, that kind of stuff.
Oh, nice.
And what I would do is I'd go to Marshalls or TJ Maxx or Ross, and I would go buy shoes or shirts and whatever, and I'd flip it. But it got to the point where it was like I was flipping so much stuff. I was like, here. I went up to one of my buddies. Here's $50, right? Next time you go to TJ Maxx with your mom, go look for XYZ. If you find it, buy it, and then bring it to school. And I'd get people to do that for me, and I'd cut them a commission on my sales. And I was like fucking 12 years old.
That's fine.
You know what I mean?
While other people were selling chocolate bars and chips and stuff.
So you're just like, you're naturally just an operator and just a business guy.
I grew up with 2 entrepreneurial parents. And I always saw firsthand. My mom, dude, I couldn't even tell you. There's so many different things. You know, nutrition, real estate, interior design, very creative. Nice. Right. And I attribute a lot of my creativity to her because I just seen it my whole life. But like, my dad owns a painting company. Gotcha. So he, paints some of the craziest Victorian houses. That's and sick. All types of things. He's super good with that.
You helped him with social media?
I'm sorry?
You helped him with social media?
That's funny. He's getting old, so he doesn't want to like. Yeah. There's only so much that he can. Of course. He's already busy. Very blessed to be busy, but he couldn't handle any more work.
Yeah. I also think that's a good point too. I feel like when both your parents are entrepreneurs and you've grown up in that environment, it's really hard to work for somebody else. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's Absolutely. Just like it's not, because it's the same with us. Both our parents were entrepreneurs, and we've seen them their whole lives like build a business and all that.
Yeah. And both for us, Damian's parents.
Yeah, both my parents.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Yeah. So that makes sense. It's just, it doesn't feel right to be on the other side.
No.
Yeah. So that's funny. But like, then going back to what you asked about Greek life. So I got to, like, I was organizing events like in high school, whatever, parties, this, that. And then I got to Rutgers and I was like, whoa, this is huge. Like syllabus week is the craziest week of school. Yeah. Jeez.
You're good.
Everybody's outside, right? Because it's the first week of school. People are meeting. The fraternities are trying to recruit new guys. Sororities are doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. Businesses are trying to get people in the door. So they're doing all kinds of crazy promotions, all that kind of stuff. Same with bars, right? And this one kid, my partner for my charity, the charity that we worked on, he low-key like brought me under his wing. And I was this freshman. He was a sophomore, or junior. And he would just bring me everywhere. He was super well connected. Like everybody, his name's Danny McCaffrey, and everyone just loved Danny. He was just the boy. Yeah. And he would bring me everywhere, pre-games, post-games, introduce me to everybody that was like relevant on campus. And relevance is kind of determined by like your position in a fraternity or sorority, right? Or if you work at like a cool store or you work at a bar, that kind of stuff. Yeah. He introduced me to everybody, and I'm a pretty social guy. So I put my foot in the door and I introduced myself to everybody and made a name for myself. And then once Danny kind of like phased out of the Greek life stuff and focused on being a DJ at some of the bars, I was like, somebody's got to take care of business. Yeah. Who's going to be? Yeah. I stepped up.
That's sick, dude. It's like, do you think if you didn't have social media with like all the network that you had, you would be able to do the same thing with Pitch Social?
I think
or what do you think has more weight? Do you think it's more social media, or do you think it's like because of the network that you created?
Fantastic question. And I think on campus, it would have taken us a little bit longer to build. Like now every single night we have lines that go down the street, right? Yeah. Because we built like a sick environment to be in. But what really amplified that was, again, leverage, right? So we're the most followed college bar in the whole country. by
Wow.
like 40,000 followers. Nobody comes
shit.
close. All right. So when we're reaching out to some of these creators, DJs, influencers off that page, like, hey, we want to do an event with you. Most of the time, they're like, tell me what day and tell you, you know,
Hey,
where am I
saw your
staying?
social media. Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's like we leverage the platform to bring people through. You know, we've had like Summer Rae, TJ Palma, Jersey Joe, Damian,
Nav.
Nav. You know, like Nav is one of my favorite artists growing up.
Yeah.
He performed at my bar.
Wow.
That's,
You know, so it was like it's pretty sick.
That's
That
really
is
cool.
so
dude.
fire.
Yeah. So I feel like that's added to the effect.
What was the process like when you were helping out him with like the
series.
series? Yeah, what was that like?
Well, so he got a lot of help from, like we said earlier, Rajan, right? But, you know, Cris came to me. I remember you FaceTimed me last summer and you were just asking me for advice on the videos. And we kind of just went over, it felt like we were just going over the basics and just kind of making sure that, you know, the video, good hook, good call to action, good pacing, A-roll, B-roll, all of the above. And everything checked out. But Cris is very good at making content. Cris has done a fantastic job making content. That's why I reached out to him in the first place. And to go back to that a little bit, the reason I reached out to him is because actually your freshman year roommate was Dan, right?
So sophomore year, Dan
Sophomore
Gomes,
year.
yeah.
So I knew him through a kid I played soccer with growing up. And I remember Dan reposting stuff of you all the time, like in the early years. And so when I saw you coming up on my For You page out of nowhere and, you know, the Pong videos and stuff. I was like, yo, I went on his page. His videos have millions of views, but he's at like 5,000 followers or something. So that's how I DM'd him. So naturally, he was always very good at content, but, you know, just kind of refining maybe some of the things that you already didn't know that you knew how to do. And then just constantly having conversations where we're, you know, brainstorming, providing each other valuable ideas. That really helped. I would say me as well, you know.
Yeah, 100%.
Like a huge thing. And like the huge thing like Damian helped with was like posting times, you know, how to leverage stories, like to build on top of like the views that we were already getting. Cause like when we first got that big boom on our first post, it was like, dude, like, what do we do? Like, what do I do now? Right. The first video went viral. We have 40,000 followers. We have one video up. Really, what's the next step? You know what I mean? Like I want to make sure that I keep that going. Cause like Damian mentioned, like you can get a viral video and then the rest of them can flop.
Yeah.
How am I going to look if the first video went crazy? And then the next video got 100 views, 200 views. Like
What was the series like? If you want to explain that.
so it was we did a full renovation of the bar, right? So the bar was a piece of shit, to be honest, right? The floors were ripped up. It smelled terrible. It was just very old. It wasn't taken care of, right? So what I documented was kind of everything that we did to the bar, right? We changed out the floors. We epoxied the bar top. We painted all the walls. You know, we got a mural done, you know, talking about kind of like the alcohol brands that we were working with, kind of our plans for, we did like a photo booth, a punching bag machine, like kind of documenting what we're going to provide.
It's like founder story documentation.
yeah.
Yeah, that's sick.
People loved it.
Yeah. So like you built the series, you got a bunch of people in. Now that you know the bar is up and running and everything, what is the transition like? What kind of content are you guys doing now to keep that going?
Good question. So obviously the series can only go for so long. I feel like the problem that a lot of creators have online is that they'll drag on their series, right? Don't get me wrong. Like you'll have your hype, but once it's repetitive, like you're going to lose people's interest, right? They want to see something new. So I knew that I should have dragged the series on a little bit longer. I made a mistake with that, but at the same time, it was our first month in business. I was trying to focus on getting people in the door, you know? So it was a little bit too much. And I was obviously a student, right? So at school full time and taking 18 credits, trying to graduate early kind of thing. So, but yeah, I'm sorry. Can I repeat your question?
Yeah. So like you guys created the series content, and then once the series content is done, you kind of have to get off that. Like, what did you transition into?
Fantastic question. Right. So it became kind of like documenting who we brought through the bar, right? So we would do like recap videos, swipe posts. We really try to like involve the audience that was coming through the bar into our page so they felt special, right? So we had the best photographer, the best videographer, the best whatever you want to call it, come and like help us document what was happening, right? Because the biggest thing for us was like people watched us renovate the bar and make a crazy viral page, but do we have people in the door? We made it pretty obvious that we did.
Yeah.
We packed it out.
Are you guys doing content with a lot of the influencers and everybody coming in, like for on the page?
Yeah. So like I had shout out to these guys, Die Guys TV, right? They're crushing it right now. They just moved to LA for I think a year. They got sponsored by two companies, Noka and Free Pouch. and they like got them a crazy crib in LA, and now they're gonna be like, they're gonna crush, like they're gonna kill it. They came to New Brunswick. We did a dye tournament because they're partnered up with Dye's Life, if you're familiar. So we did a dye tournament at my frat, and then we did a whole event with them and created a bunch of content. I think we touched like 10 million views.
Holy
like
shit.
one weekend. Came through, made some skate content, like whatever.
What is that like? That's, you know, it's crazy because like the business landscape is changing, especially with how, so I think social media is getting way harder to kind of break through. And there has to be more strategy, more like creative is going to always win. So it's like, take us back 10 years, right? You know, you were probably 12 years old. Business owners are not thinking about social media, not thinking about anything. They're just trying to think about how they can market their bar, their restaurant, whatever it is, right? And they're like, how do I get people into the door? Oh, I got to do buy one, get one or whatever, right? Versus now, like take us through what it's like to not only run your business, not only market for it, but then also you guys are bringing these influencers in, these DJs in, like that's a lot of planning. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're party planning like every weekend or whatever. Like, what is that like?
Yeah, I'll go off of that question too. Like, what would you, once you answer that, what would you like recommend to the people that are struggling as well? Maybe they have a, you know, a business or something like that. After you answer that, we'll kind of get into that too, because I'm kind of curious of like what you would recommend they do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. So pretty much I obviously have partners, right? And a big part of us working together is like being able to allocate responsibilities, right? Like I hire the staff, I do the branding, I organize a good portion of the events. I don't organize all of them, right? That's why we have partners.
Yeah.
But like we all have responsibilities. Like my partner Gabe, he handles all of our finances, right? Like he is on top of that. He's making sure that, you know, if one of our bartenders is pouring a little too heavy, like we're on top of that. We're going to make sure that we are moving in a green direction, right? Because we obviously have an investor, so we have to pay him off over the next couple of years. Then my other partner, Drew, he's more like operations, right? He's in the bar a lot more than both me and Gabe. But I can't be in the bar every single night until 4 a.m. if I'm trying to organize the events for the bar. Yeah. Right. So it's a lot of just like handing out responsibilities to each other. And we're on top of each other's asses. Like sometimes I don't post. Like I was just in Boston. I was like, fuck, I gotta post. Right. So Drew calls me. I'm literally in the stadium editing the post, you know what I mean, for the Instagram. Like so like that's how that goes. And then back to like, you know, what your question is in terms of you know, what a struggling business owner can do is you just gotta be cool, man. Like you got to be a cool ass person, because the thing that a lot of people, especially that come to pitch, like is that I'm bringing you in, and if I've never seen you before, I'm going to show you our menu. I'll bring you behind the DJ booth. I'll get you a free drink. Fuck it. I'll even pay for you to use the punching bag machine. Right? Because I want you to see like why do people come to our bar versus anywhere else? Right? And that's the problem. A lot of business owners are kind of like to themselves, like kind of weird. Like I don't care if you're weird.
And they expect the business.
Yeah. You have to be able to win someone over. You got to win them.
But what about like, it seems like you have a lot of marketing strategy that you're implementing into the growth of your business, and like even just the way you connect people and then showcasing that through social media. Like, what type of person do you have to be to do that? Or like, what's that framework? Like, because I feel like a lot of people get stuck with like what owner was saying, like, oh, let's just do it like a buy one, get one thing. And like, let's see if people will do it, and we'll throw that up on social. And like, but it seems like your wheels are constantly turning. You're like, all right, like how could I, you know, get this person in? How could I, you know, this big influencer, like, you know what I mean? Like, how is that process?
Full transparency, you just got to be insanely delusional. Like it's, people say it all the time. Damian will tell you, you guys know that, but you just have to be delusional, and you have to do these bold things and just make it happen. Just make it work, right? So I'll give you a perfect example. New Brunswick is dead during the summer. Nobody's there. Only college students live on campus for the most part. When it's the summertime, people go home. There's still business from the hospital and locals and stuff like that. But Easton Avenue, for example, is dead. You know what business isn't dead over the summer?
Your business?
Pitch Social. You know why? Because I organize events. I'm on the phone all day long communicating to people. Let's organize something. And I bring people to the door, right? So for example, I'm about to organize a bar crawl in New Brunswick, Christmas in July, right?
Sick.
And what am I doing? I'm bringing business to every business on campus. Restaurants, bars, whatever, smoothie stores, whatever it is, like coffee shops, because I'm about to bring 25 to 3,000 people through New Brunswick on one day.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
And yeah, another thing too, like with social platforms, right? There's kind of, I guess, two ways to go about it. like you're a local market, so you have to think kind of like, okay, how can I obviously I can't, like, if I hit someone in California, like, they're not going to come to my bar. Maybe they will if they're here, but like it's a different mindset because you're like, okay, it's local. Like I need to get people locally to my bar as much as possible. There's a different kind of mindset with that. So yeah, with that, it's just interesting to like think about the different types of techniques, right? You got to get people to come into your bar. So it's like you're thinking in that way, like how can I bring people in? How can I connect people in? Where there's two ways, right? It's like when you're building your brand, you want to reach as many people as possible. So I think there's just a different kind of technique with both. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like a good question that you asked. And I should look. I forgot to build off of my bad.
You're good.
In terms of like, let's say you're not using social media, you want to get people in the door.
Yeah.
It all falls back to just being a cool person, like an enjoyable to speak to, kind of like, curious, interesting person, because you could go to the gym and you can go make 50 friends in one day. Yeah. You can stay there from I don't even know, 7 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock at night and just go talk.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
10 minutes. Hey, what's up, bro? What's going on? Nice to meet you. You just break the ice. Next time you see him, you break the ice. Third time, yo, I have a business down the street. Come, I'll get you a free drink. Yeah. Go build your business, because nobody's going to do it for you.
Dude, because I love the hustle too, because it's any other business owner on Easton Avenue in New Brunswick would be like, oh yeah, July and August is just a downtime, right? And I feel like so many people have that mindset. Oh, this is just a downtime of the year. But like you're fucking going to make it happen.
Yeah,
like,
you're flipping that.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck it, dude.
Yeah.
Christmas in July, like fuck it, like we're
when's the date for that?
July 25th.
July 25th.
It's Saturday.
All right.
I haven't announced it yet, but Damian's gonna get a phone call, and you guys are gonna get a phone call too. We can make something happen.
Hell yeah. That'd be sick, dude.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What kind of marketing are you guys doing besides organic social media? You guys are running ads, collecting emails, or anything like that?
So one of my partners owns a company, or he's a partner for a company called Flight.
Okay.
So it's like a ticketing app. All SMS marketing, that kind of stuff. Like you buy a ticket, email, phone number, Instagram, we collect all the data, or they collect all the data. And then, like we do text blasts and stuff like that when we do events and stuff like that. We don't do any paid ads or anything like that. We try to keep it like super organic.
Organic, yeah.
So everything is coming from organic.
Everything. But like, I'll give you an example. So the company that I have I have my own sandwich at, which is pretty cool. Like I got blessed with that. The owner, Steve Ellison, he's the man, right? He's like one of my mentors. I love him to death. Great guy. He texted me one day. He was like, I want to do something cool. New Brunswick is a great location for optics, but it's not producing as much revenue as we want. I was like, all right, bet. I have a solution. I already have the answer. So we're going to do an ambassador program. All the hottest athletes, most popular, like well-connected people on campus, you're going to give them $200 budget a month to eat for free. And all they do is post on their story that I'm an bagel, right? And now we have
it's a no-brainer.
15 of the most well-known people on campus that everyone looks up to posting at a location. It worked. So what did I do? I did Appice Social.
Just bring so many eyeballs to your business.
Bro, come on. Tell me what $3,000 is a month for organic marketing.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
It's nothing.
Yeah, and organic is the most powerful once you crack the code. You know what I mean? It's like you're actually getting real feedback from the audience.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So a lot, for what we do with Haas Media, we really focus on the organic stuff, and we push organic heavily to get actual feedback and direct responses from the audience that we're building for the client. And then once we find those winners, then we'll start doubling down on those winners. And then once you find those winners, then you can start putting paid ads behind it, because you already know it works. Instead of like where most traditional businesses that don't really understand the game that much, like they go straight into generic advertising, straight into ads. And the first time anyone would see them, it's an advertisement, and it's such a turnoff. You know what I mean? It's like you're trying to sell me something right off the bat. Yeah. Whereas when you kind of build that culture first, and then you get your name out there, people connect with it. You're giving them a reason to come to your business. Yeah. And then from there, it just starts to grow. Mm-hmm. So we've seen that over and over again.
Yeah. Just to give you like an idea of the advertising, like the one guy that we're working with, so in advertising, it's called return on ad spend, so ROAS. And a really good ROAS is a 1 to 3. So $1 in, $3 back. And when people start to go over that 3 mark and start to go into 4, 5, 6, it just means like it's really good because you're getting $1 in, $6 back. It just means that you should be spending more because you really want it to be at that 1 to 3. That means you're scaling up.
Okay.
And the first time we ever launched an advertisement for our guy, dude, he had like a 1 to 28 ROAS. It was like fucking insane because we built his brand over 4 years. We never asked anybody for anything on advertisement, anything on organic. Like people were coming in organically asking like, hey, do you have a coaching program? Can I work with you? How much does it cost? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And we were selling people through DMs or getting on calls or whatever through that. And then the minute we put one little offer, it just fucking exploded on paid ads. It's fucking insane.
Yeah, and I think this is a good topic to go into too. Like, Damian, you talk about it a lot too. Like, people are on these apps and they're selfishly scrolling. You know what I mean? So a lot of the times, people that don't really understand it, they go, let me create content or put stuff out there because I want to make $1. Like they're trying to sell something, right? And it never works out. And they're like, why isn't this working? I don't get it. And they give up. When you really, I think, made us see this as well, and solidify that in our heads as well. It's like, think about where the content that you're creating, will the person on the other side actually seeing it? Will they actually enjoy it? And, like, are they actually going to like it? Like, is it something that they'll actually enjoy? You know what I mean? So like thinking about putting them on the spotlight instead, you know what I mean? And like getting them to have some entertainment value out of it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and this goes back to what you were saying about direct response marketing that you guys do. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing with organic, because the whole idea is to invoke emotion on the viewer when they're scrolling. People scroll for selfish reasons. Why do you open your phone? Because you're going to get that dopamine release subconsciously from all of the notifications that are coming in, right? Because probably at some point you open your phone and, I don't know, your crush texted you back and you got that dopamine release. So that becomes an addiction early on when you first start, using your phone a lot. And then these apps are designed to put things on your For You page or on your Reels page so that you keep opening the app and you keep seeing things that you like, that are going to motivate you, inspire you, make you upset, make you happy, right? So that's the whole idea behind marketing organically that not a lot of people understand. And it goes hand in hand with direct response. Is you need to invoke emotion, and that's why hooks are so important. Yeah. If you can make somebody feel like they're going to get a payoff by the end of the video, or make them feel a certain way by the end of the video, they're more likely to watch all the way through, and your retention rate goes up. Yeah. So that's why hooks are so important. Even when you're sending emails, right? You're mass emailing, and you're sending out text blasts. If you can make them release that dopamine in the hook of any of these things, right? Short form, long form, text messages, emails, then you're going to have the best response from the audience, and you're going to figure out what works.
Yeah. And that's a good point too, because what social media has kind of transitioned to, before, what it used to be was, people would post pictures, whatever, and it'd be more of a social thing. Like, oh, I see my friend posting and I'm going to comment on my friend's post and they're going to comment on mine and whatever, right? But it's turned into like this thing where it's more of like an interest media. The algorithms are feeding you what you're mostly interested in and putting you in that kind of corner of the internet, right? So it's just feeding you more stuff. So I think as a business owner, it's super important to understand that, because now okay, this is what my business is. This is the type of audience that my business, gets. These are the type of people that my business gets. So this is the type of content that I'm going to create because I know the culture of my audience, right? So now you can start thinking about ways of like, all right, like, a lot of people know who Lacey is. A lot of people know who Marlon is, right? So I'm going to try and bring those people into my bar, because I know it's going to put that content in front of the right people, and then it's going to get more people to come into my bar and kind of raise that authority.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a great point. And something that's very important, again, is like, I'm very specific with branding, right? Same way you guys are. You have to be so specific with your branding, because if you're not, you're going to sabotage everything you've created, right? And that's like a conversation that I've had with my partners, because it's very quick to like, you know what? We'll do a story post, but we're going to bullshit it. You can't. You can't, because the second that your audience sees even a story post with like the wrong colors, or it's like, I don't know, sometimes like you screenshot something, like maybe you post like a screenshot, like it doesn't look right. Yeah. Everything has to be done the right way.
Which has to be on brand.
Exactly. Everything has to be on brand, because the second that you slip, people notice. Come on, we're not stupid. If I see what's a good example? I see Barstool post, bullshit for a week straight. I'm gonna be like, they gotta figure out like what's going on. If all
of a sudden they start getting into fucking, the stock markets and shit.
Yeah.
It's like, well, this is not what this brand is about.
Exactly.
So you can't really differentiate. And if you brought influencers that had nothing to do with that nightlife stuff, like who are you going to really attract at that point?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I think that's like super important because it's crazy, man. We literally watched social media unfold in the last 5 years of doing this, of how crazy of an impact it has organically on paid ads or whatever segment that you do, right? And like when we started 5 years ago, there were so many business owners and so many people that were like, it's that TikTok dance silly shit. Like I don't know if I want to do that, And then now we have the same people coming to us and being like, oh, well, what are your services like? How much do you guys charge? And whatever. And we've literally waited. Like we have some clients that we got in the door. It's taken us 4 years to close them because they didn't understand the power of social media. And then once they see it, they're like, oh shit, like I'm on board now. And I think people are starting to realize that, like, how important do you think if you have a business, like how important is it to actually build your brand now? Like, do you think there's still enough time to do it?
That's a great question. And Damian, like once I spit, I want you to like build off of what I got because I know you 100% agree.
Yeah.
So pretty much like, it's funny you mentioned that because something that I've recognized is that, for example, my dad, right? Mm-hmm. Blue collar guy. Yeah, it's a painting company. Mm-hmm. He's very well connected in our town, in our county. But what happens when he retires and there's now young guys that have to step into that position? There is always going to be someone cutting grass, doing electrical work, painting, power washing, all these things. Maybe my dad doesn't retire for 10 years, right? But now his competition is no longer guys that are 60. They're guys who are 20, 18, 19. What's going to differentiate them is their social media presence, right? If they got killer content, branding, SMS marketing, everything is flawless. People are going to work with them. They're young, they're ambitious, they're hustlers. These older archaic styles of promotion and word of mouth are going to die out. Yeah. So right now, there's never a bad time to start your personal brand. Yeah. But if you have the opportunity to, you should start it today.
Yeah. And also going off that too, it's like, there is a big opportunity right now too in the market. It's like, there are a lot of those people that own businesses and they're a lot older. And it's like people like us understand the power of the internet and with AI and all that stuff. Like we could literally probably take a business tomorrow and completely turn it around 180.
100%.
And it just make that business explode if we really wanted to.
You did it with Pitch Social.
Yeah. That's right.
We wanted you to build off that. That's why I said
Oh shit. Yeah, I don't think it's too late to start.
Yeah, I feel like it's just starting.
I feel like it's just starting because a lot of people are realizing the power of it. Like you guys just said, now you're closing clients from 4 years ago that didn't realize the power. I had a social media organic marketing agency in 2022, and a lot of them didn't understand the importance of, building a personal brand, branding, social media as a whole. I'm still laughing at that. Hold on. But, now I feel like, if I had been doing that now, it would be almost like a no-brainer because everybody's talking about it. Everybody in that age demographic that has those companies that, where they're 40 plus, like you guys. Joking.
we're unk status.
They understand the importance of it, and I don't think it's too late to start. Yeah. Instagram's growing at a fast rate. They're dropping new features all the time. Yeah. TikTok is here to stay. Obviously, you have new platforms people are discovering. Now Facebook is firing out a campaign where you just get paid $3,000 a month at a certain tier to just post 15 times in the month.
That's fucking insane.
So you see guys like that, right? I mean, you see guys see those campaigns going on, and it's almost a no-brainer to start posting, even if they just want to get the check. You have Snapchat Spotlight, you have YouTube Shorts, and if you're just growing on all of these platforms and you're consecutively putting out posts, then you're going to be able to keep up. But what a lot of people don't understand is how to do it. Yeah. And that's where the gap starts to lie, is people don't know what they're doing. Right. They're like, oh, I'm gonna just get on social media, and it's just them talking like to their phone really slowly for like 3 minutes.
What would you recommend someone, maybe they're like, okay, I want to get into social media.
What? You get the rap?
Well,
what?
Your guys' dinner changed to 6.
Are you fucking serious?
Deadass.
What time is it?
5. We got ready 5.
I mean,
we're gonna go over. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
I guess we'll do like 1 or 2 more questions and then
No, dude, we're fine.
Yeah.
We have a few questions.
Where's the dinner at?
It's right up the block.
Yeah, just telling her. But what was I gonna say?
Thanks for interrupting us. No, I'm just kidding.
So the person that's like,
I need to say it.
You were gonna ask me, I think, where you would close that gap.
well, no, I was saying like, so clearly you still see an opportunity for people to start posting, maybe building their brand or bringing attention to their business, right? Maybe they feel like it might be too late. What would you say to that person that's like, all right, it's too late now. Like, people have already built their brand. They've already caught on. Like, I don't have a chance now and I have zero following, whatever. Like, what would you tell that person?
Well, if you're 45 years old and you have a blue collar company, let's say you have a moving company, go find another 45-year-old with a moving company Instagram page and see what content they're doing if they're crushing it, or even if there is one, right? And if there isn't, you go look at another blue collar style page, maybe a landscaping company, and you say, okay, what are they doing, right? Maybe they have younger hires that they're bringing on these jobs to capture some of these moments that are going down on the job site, right? They're capturing some of the camaraderie that is going on amongst the staff, right? Or maybe there's some founder-led pages where guys are talking about what it's like to build a blue-collar landscaping company, right? Yeah. So go and start to take what other people are doing and then add your own spin to it. Everybody has their own story, right? Every person in this room has their own story. Take your story and use the formatting that's working for other people and just implement your story into their format and then just start to post. If I had to give like one piece of advice to anybody that's looking to do this at any age, it would be master pacing and the hook, because the hook is how you're going to get them to stop and scroll. So the rest of the video isn't going to matter if your hook is shit, right? So what you should work on when it comes to the hook is invoke an emotion in the very beginning. If you want them to feel like there's a flaw in their business, then say something that's going to allow them to understand the flaw. And then what you're doing is you're opening a curiosity loop in their head where you're essentially you're planting in their subconscious, okay, by the end of this video, I'm going to fix your problem if you just listen. So now they feel like there's something wrong with their business. They're going to watch all the way to the end of your video. And if you just master the hook and do that on repeat, you're eventually going to find what people want to see and what's working.
Yeah. That's so funny because it's like me and Owner, we've studied all the marketers, how marketing works, all the digital marketers, super deep into it. And we understand like a lot of the concepts, but like you've been really focusing on building social media for like, the last few years now. And it seems like a lot of those patterns, like I see, like whatever you say, it's like, dude, like these marketers are saying the exact same thing. You're just wording it a little bit differently.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like what you just said with how creating that video, right? Like a lead magnet, for example.
Yeah.
You essentially just described the lead magnet. A magnet is essentially like, okay, I have a business, right? And I want to start gathering information, right? I want to get customer information, like, phone number, email, and stuff like that. I want to give them, I want them to start opting in and start building my own internal list. And the way to do that is you create some type of resource or whatever it is that that they would want and that would fix an initial problem that they're having.
Yeah.
Like that first initial problem. But as they go through that resource, right, it opens up problem B, essentially. So it's like, okay, you fix their initial problem, they put you as an authority, and then now it's like, okay, now it's opening up another problem, right? So it's like what you just said with like
Pacing.
the pacing of it, right? It's like, okay, now they're in my world, and then you consistently do it. It's like these are like really solid marketing strategies to build.
It's psychology.
Yeah, it's all psychology.
I don't even read business books. Like I read psychology books, and that's why I've been able to make good content, because it's just understanding the psychology of the person, and then it's applying it into video form.
Yeah. Exactly. And email form now.
And email form. That's
Dude,
right.
his emails, he just started writing emails because we were like talking about how to get like followers off the platform. We have over 1,000 emails that we got opt-ins from for his brand now. And the first email he wrote, I was like, dude, that fucking hooked me, dude.
Yeah, I was like, just do this exactly how you do a video, but just write it in like copy format.
Yeah.
And it was just like, and it like kind of just clicked and it worked. But like even like, so like emails are very slept on too. We study a lot of Alex Ramosi, and his number one way to acquire customers, and he makes the most amount of money from, is through email marketing.
Really?
Yeah, it's number one.
Yeah.
What do you know is like demographic of like how old these people are?
They're all like business owners, so he wants to help people scale essentially. So like if you're making $1 to $2 million,
And you want to scale like
and you want to scale to like 50 million.
Yeah.
He essentially is targeting those people.
Yeah.
Right. So like
He's ICP.
Yeah.
So he said, so as I was saying on advertising, it's a 1 to 3 return. So $1 in, $3 out. I watched this YouTube video and he's explaining all the channels. And he said email is his top tier 1. And it's because on email, it's a 1 to 40 return. But it might take you 2 years to make that happen.
Yeah.
So think about that. You're putting $1 in and you're getting 40 back.
Yeah.
So you put $1,000 in, you get 40,000 back. You put $10,000 in, you get $400,000.
Crazy. It's unbelievable.
But yeah, so that's kind of how like we focus on that on the back end too. So like all the attention's on the social platforms too, right? So when we get them off of these platforms and give them a reason to get off the platforms, let's say we can create like a WhatsApp community or something like that, right? What we'll do is, join this WhatsApp community and, depending on your niche, whatever, you'll get more information about whatever that they want. But through that process of getting them off of the social platform and onto, let's say, a WhatsApp community, it'll be like a form. And within that form, it'll be like, their name, obviously, and then email, phone number, right? So like, instead of just now hitting them up through Instagram, right now you're creating omnipresence. Now, just through that one transfer, you got their email, phone number, and they're in a WhatsApp group. So now you have 4 channels of reaching out to them and being in front of their faces.
Not to mention the other social platforms.
Yeah,
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, and all the other social platforms. Crazy. And if you're in person, connecting with people consistently, now it's another channel, right? So it's like, what are all these channels? How can you consistently keep showing up and create that omnipresence to then, consistently grow what it is that you're trying to grow, right? That's the key. And I feel like going back to my point before, it's like why are people just locking themselves in a room and trying to build something and not telling anyone? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, people are going to run over you.
Yeah. But I will say a lot of people are scared, and this is going to help for my next question for Cris. So a lot of people are afraid of getting on social media, right? It's pretty nerve-wracking when you can just post and then magically get 1,000 people to watch your video. Mm-hmm. How have you dealt with, because you went to college, you're at Rutgers. How many students are at Rutgers? Like 20, 40?
50, like 50, 60.
Right, 50, 60,000 people. So you're going to have a large presence and a large majority of them like know who you are, right? How do you deal with, people hating on your endeavors, people talking shit? How do you overcome that? And what kind of advice would you give to somebody that's looking to break through that nervousness of getting online and actually taking initiative on their dreams?
I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, what's going to differentiate someone that dreams about getting on social media and being successful on social media is being able to just deal with hate, right? It's inevitable. I would get harassed, right? Doesn't matter what I was doing. I was trying to organize events, people talking shit. I open up the bar, no one's going to go there. But you're not, he bought followers, all this crazy, it's like, come on, whatever.
That bar's going to fail.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny because I would see that we have a platform on at Rutgers, all colleges called Yik Yak, right? It's an anonymous platform.
Yeah. Show me that. I remember Yik Yak.
I would get abused on that page. It was
anonymous threads, right?
Yeah, dude. It was like one guy was like, if I had $1 for every business venture that Cris failed, I'd be able to pay off my tuition.
Jeez. Oh my god!
You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. I would screenshot these, and I would just scroll through them and just laugh because I was like, you know what, my time's gonna come, and you guys will see what I created, and you won't be able to do anything about it.
I love that you have that mindset because we saw that early on when we started with our first client, and we were getting like that first video that had 1 million views. Like half the comments were like, I love this. How do I start? And then the other half is like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Shut the fuck up. Like whatever. Like it's just, the number one indicator to tell, like just a piece of advice to anybody because I tell this to all my clients, anybody that I meet that wants to be on social media. It's if you start getting trolls, if you start getting hate, like they're talking about you.
Yeah.
Right. So like you're at top of mind. It's not the other way around. That means you're doing something right and you're going in the right direction. Right. And you just got to build off that.
Yeah. It's building that, like being polarizing too, right? You're going to get people that hate you. You're going to get people that love you. It's like it's called the Trump effect.
Yeah.
A lot of people call it the Trump effect. It's like, people hate him, people love him, but at the end of the day, like all the attention's on him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like,
you'll never be loved if you're not hated, right? It's like there's a couple one-off people, and even the most loved people are hated, right? It doesn't matter. Like, for example, I'm not too religious, but even like Jesus Christ, for example,
absolutely,
right? Or whoever,
Gandhi,
the Pope, or Donald Trump, or whatever.
Yeah.
Putin. Yo, did you see
Putin, or Andrew Tate, for example.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
I think Andrew Tate is hilarious, right? Like,
Yeah.
he's so funny. Like, he's full of energy, very like charismatic. Obviously, he talks bullshit sometimes, right? But at the end of the day, man, he's a baller.
Yeah.
He's living the life that people dream of living.
100%. It's like having that stance and like sticking with that and just, preaching that.
Of course.
You know,
And people don't want to
with it,
believe.
they could fuck off.
Yeah.
And if they do, then all right, then they can come along for that. I guess.
That's another thing too, is like if somebody's hating on you, it's a projection of their own life, and like for the Andrew Tate thing, there's so many people like, oh yeah, like he has all this money but he's trafficking women. It's like they just don't want to fathom the fact that he busted his ass, and that they'll never do that, so they're just projecting their own life at, hey, like that guy, that there's no way that's real, like you know what I mean. And I fucking hate that shit.
Exactly.
But I have another like last couple questions, I guess, because we gotta do this thing. But
But we'll have a second.
yeah, we'll have a follow up.
We'll have a second. We'll have a round two.
But I really want to know, like, because so Hermosi talked about, because we did Hermosi's cohort, so we paid money to be a part of his like 6-month program.
Wow.
And one of the big things he was talking about, actually Ocon was on first, but he let everybody know in the group that live was like one of the big things that are coming.
Going live.
Yeah, going live. And for business owners, and he, on his next like 6-hour video thing, course or whatever, he was talking about how there's a tier of like authority. And so it's posting, right, on social media. So it's like static, right? So, I mean, not static, but video, dynamic, and just being able to post, having people see you. Then it's like webinar, right? So the next thing would be like a webinar or live where people can actually physically see you live and have full authenticity. And then the most authority level that you can have is like being in person live. So like having that person look at you. I think it's cool because kind of glanced over this. You had Marlon and Lacey come, right? And then you have social media coming to Pitch Social. Well, did you see any like difference in like in power or authority with like the customers coming in through the difference between having Marlon and Lacey there and then the difference of like having social media? Like, was it completely different or?
That's a good question. I mean, I don't know. I couldn't even really answer that question. I feel like it's very difficult to tell. I feel like obviously social media, like I would like to think that it's played a significant role. But again, like our first month of business was like, it was like,
yeah, that's how business is. Yeah.
Just because, and like now, very thankful for the situation that we are busy all the time. It was like people don't like to step away from the norm, right? For example, like New Brunswick is one of the oldest cities. Brooklyn is one of the oldest colleges ever, right? You know, it was 1770 when it was founded. Right? It's older than the United States, right? So it's super old school. Yeah. There's a lot of traditions, a lot of values that are like embedded, ingrained into like the community. Like for example, like Old Queens is like one of our competitors, right? And we'll gladly say they're one of our competitors, right? Because unfortunately, there's a new bar in town. Yeah. But with that being said, you know, generations and generations and generations of like parents and siblings and grandparents went to Old Queens, right? So it's like before Pitch existed, I would go to Queens, right? That's the place to go, right? But now it's like for me, in our first month of business, it was like people come to check it out, people go back to another bar. People come to check it out, people come back to, and then eventually, like I said, you know, like really going out there, getting people comfortable with the environment, losing a little bit of money, giving out free alcohol or whatever it is, that won over a really great community, a great crowd. So
how long did it take you to actually open up Pitch Social?
The whole process of like, speaking to our investor, figuring out projections, all that kind of stuff, that took say 12 months, and then the renovation took us 30 days.
Okay, and then so through that entire journey, how important, because you're a young guy, you're getting into business, you got partners involved, like how important was it to have mentors through that entire process to be able to go through each one of those things?
So important. And I'll go back to like Steve from O'Bagel. Like he's just such a cool guy, right? So his story was his dad owned the first O'Bagel in Basking Ridge, right? And then I think he opened up a second location, and then eventually
Hoboken.
in Hoboken. Yeah,
I went to Stevens. I remember when it opened up.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. And then, eventually the business became his, right? And he has his sister with him and a family involved. And he was like, you know what? This can be so much bigger than what it is. I'm going to tie in the branding, tie in the socials. I'm going to make a location in New Brunswick, Rutgers. And he's been crushing it, bro. He opened Mile Square Cafe, and it's one of the most booming restaurants in Hoboken.
Dude, the crazy thing about O-Bagel was they were so different when they came into Hoboken too. Because when I was there at Stevens, they just opened up. It was first day of launch. There was like a line out the fucking door. But the cool thing that I saw them doing was they built a community versus like just being a bagel place, because they were having like pop-ups, like Mexican night, or like, freaking different types of foods, like at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night, when, usually bagel shops are closed up at, around 3 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
So it was like so cool that they came into Hoboken and they weren't just like, oh yeah, we're just a bagel shop and we're going to do this. They like brought the community together. It was fucking wild, dude. So
that's what it is. Like, community building is so important. And that's like for any business, like if you're trying to make something happen, you got to be organizing something or bringing people together. And like I saw, why am I blanking? Gary V, right?
Yeah.
Gary V went to North Hunterdon. That's where I graduated from.
No way.
He graduated 50 years ago. And he, he's old. He's getting up there. Gary, if you're watching this, you're getting up there, bro. But it was funny because I remember.
He's not that old.
I remember when we posted, I think it was like our 4th video, Gary DM'd us.
No
and he was like,
way.
you boys are crushing it. Like,
shit.
good luck with everything.
That's sick.
Right. And I DM'd him back. He didn't answer me, but that was cool. And then I remember, like, I've been watching a lot of his content. He said everything is going to start going analog, right? It's going to go back. People want community. People want to go
100%.
to events. Cause like with the rise of AI and everything, it's like, you'll be scrolling and bro, AI is getting so good. Like even sometimes I get, like,
Yeah.
Tricked.
People want something real.
yeah, of course. Like, you throw an event, 3,000 people come, you got food trucks, you got activations, you got energy drinks, you got DJs, whatever.
Yeah,
especially because I think go ahead.
I think that's why live streaming too is becoming so big.
Yeah.
And it's become so big. It is already massive, right? It's because you're kind of marrying the two. It's happening in real time. People could see it, on their phones, but at the same time, it's in person. You know what I mean? So it's like that. It's amplifying that.
Yeah. And I think also there's just been like a deprivation of like IRL since COVID. I feel like we just like went into our homes and slowly came out of that COVID era, and that nightlife really never like came back as hard as it is. But now people are so cooped up and there's like nothing. I feel like 5 years ago, 6 years ago during COVID, like right before COVID, like the diners here were open 24/7. There's restaurants open till 11, 12 o'clock at night. Now everything closes so early. It's like
So
there's
shocked.
nothing to do anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think IRL is going to have a massive comeback, and like you're in the right industry for that, dude.
Yeah, no, genuinely, like I'm gonna start right now. Like my long-term vision for like the bar, we want to open up like 10 or 15 locations, right? That's
That was
what
my next question for you.
Yeah, that's what I envision. Like I see us opening 10, 15, hopefully 20, whatever it is, right? A lot, maybe even franchise at some point. But what I really want to do is I want to make my own Rolling Loud, right? Like I love it. I wanted Rolling Loud when I was 18. I have a crazy story about that. I'll come on a podcast another time. We'll talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
But like, dude, Rolling Loud was the coolest experience of my entire life. And like seeing the production, the organization, all the security personnel, everything was just so cool. And I want to organize events because, like we just talked about, that's the future.
Yeah.
It's gonna go back to that
Until we have another pandemic, but that's neither here or there.
Hantavirus?
The hantavirus.
So I guess we should wrap it up with like this specific question. Just if you had just one message to tell your audience that you kind of stand by, you really stand by, and you want them to know, no other message, just one message that you want them to know, what would that be?
Just be ambitious. Just go out, like set a goal for yourself and just chase it. And what usually happens is you'll hit your goal and then another one comes, right? You're always chasing. You'll never stop chasing. But what's cool about always chasing is that you're always like thinking and you can be creative and you can try new things out, right? You can keep learning from your mistakes and eventually you'll make so many mistakes that now you are so talented and so skilled and so experienced, you can do whatever you want. I haven't gotten there yet, but
just failing forward.
Yeah.
You have to fail forward.
We always say like the beauty about entrepreneurship is you build so many skills that me and my brother always have this conversation. If we were to fail tomorrow, like if we get a phone call tomorrow and all our clients were like, hey, we're done, we're not doing it anymore, our business goes to zero, we have acquired so many skills in the last 5-6 years that we can start a business like from the ground up tomorrow. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
and
man.
no one can ever take that away from you.
Well, yeah, thanks for coming on, man. That was good.
Yeah,
Damian,
thanks
obviously.
Damian for connecting us
dude.
with Chris, man.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah.
That was killer. First experience on a podcast. I mean, I love it.
Really?
I love
First
it.
time on a
First time.
podcast?
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck
I
it.
lost
This is
my
your first.
I lost my podcast virginity here too.
This is a place to be, man. I love it.
Yeah, dude. We'll
Awesome.
we'll have a round two.